안녕하세요. Hello everyone. My name is Jeong and I teach cooking here at the beautiful KCC. And joining me once again is our good friend David Ralph. He's a cooking instructor at TAFE and an expert on Korean cooking. Welcome, David.
Welcome. Thank you for having me again. 안녕하세요. 만나서 반갑습니다.
I love your t-shirt.
Thank you. Surprised it still fits. It's from 2013. So I did a Korean cooking competition, which I won, which you were the judge there. So we go way back. And yeah, just got to travel Korea, do some cooking, do some eating, learn all about the food and the culture. Yeah,
Yes.
it was an amazing trip.
I still remember your beautiful dish.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Just probably before we start, we've got a little bit of competition today for our most engaged, enthusiastic viewers.
Yeah, so we're making kimchi today. So making quick kimchi, mud kimchi.
Yeah. So this is the little Korean hamper that we've organised. So you've got some Korean sea salt. You've got gochugaru, so it's a Korean chili powder. We've got some canned kimchi, so it's always good to have backup kimchi in the fridge, pantry. Perfect for fried rice, kimchi stew. We've got Korean anchovy sauce, which we'll talk about later. Kimchi noodles, you've got some gloves so you don't stain your hands with chili. And you've got a nice takeaway container to store your kimchi.
Yeah, everyone should have one of these. It's a beautiful rubber glove.
Yeah, perfect for chili. And also there'll be a $50 supermarket voucher for
Very generous.
the contestants.
Yeah, so we're making quick kimchi. In Korean, it's mud kimchi. And kimchi, as you know, is heart of Korean cuisine. I think we've been making and eating kimchi for thousands of years. I think kimchi is in our DNA, David. I
think so, yeah. I think it really sums up what Korean cuisine and food is all about. It sort of symbolises from the flavours, the characters, the styles. I think there's 198 different style kimchis.
And more.
And more, yep.
Yes, kimchi can be made from any vegetable. Cabbage is the most popular because it has chemical compounds in cabbage that keeps it for a long time. But as in, like this is pechu kimchi. So this is a traditional one that you can store for like years and years. Kimchi really doesn't go off if you make it properly.
Yes.
There's white kimchi. So this was before chili was introduced to Korea.
Yep.
So but a lot of people still have white kimchi. It's very, very refreshing.
Yep.
And then we have here mustard leaf kimchi. And here, my favorite is this one's called chonga kimchi. Chonga, a literal translation is bachelor kimchi because of the shape. Please don't use too much of your imagination.
No.
It's chonga, bachelor, because of the top knot hairstyle.
Oh, from the hairstyle, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and the shape of the hairstyle.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
And then there's the yeolmu kimchi, which is the leaves of young radish.
Yep.
And then this is the salad kimchi
Yes.
called got-jeori. And this is for parties and for people that don't like fermented kimchi. And this is radish kimchi.
Gattugi.
Seokbakji or gattugi. So lots of kimchi
Yes.
here. And what's your favorite?
Probably oi kimchi, so Korean cucumber kimchi. Very fresh, clean, crisp, especially if you use the Korean cucumbers. Great for summer.
Yes, I love it in summer.
Yeah, it's good, very nice, a lot of texture.
Should we get started? Oh, what else are we cooking?
Yeah, well besides doing the gut fast kimchi, we're going to make kimchi mayonnaise. And with that kimchi mayonnaise, we're going to sort of do a Korean take on the Caesar salad. So we can show how versatile kimchi really can be.
Right,
So,
can't wait.
Yeah, so
intrigued.
should be interesting, hopefully. Yeah.
Sure. Let's get started, David.
Yes. First thing to make.
Yes, the rice paste.
Yes.
Because we just need to cool it down. But before David starts on his rice paste, let me just tell you about this pechu called napa cabbage.
Yes.
Star of the show. These wide leaves capture a lot of energy from the sun, and we need energy. So this is a super veggie for a super pickle.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you show us how to make the rice paste?
Yes. So it's also called a roux. So it's just a mixture of water and flour. So today we're using, this is actually like a sweet sticky rice, glutinous rice flour that we're using. It really depends on your sort of ratio, how much water, how much flour you're going to be using. I like to do probably 4 to 5 parts of water, and then maybe I'll do 1 to 2 parts.
Yes.
So maybe I'll probably add about maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons.
I mean, for viewers, there's a recipe online, and please, you can use the recipe, but probably kimchi, use the recipe as a guideline, but kimchi is all about, David, what do we call this when we use our senses and our hands?
So Koreans have a word for it, it's called sommat. So it's all sommat?
Yes.
Sommat. Yes, so where the flavour and the experience is in the hands. So it's something you really do by the eye and from experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So please use the recipe as a guideline, but use your senses and eyeball your ingredients, and look at the ingredients, feel your ingredients, and adjust accordingly.
Yeah. So the reason why we...
Maybe you could till.
I'll probably show.
Yeah.
It does not take long at all.
No.
The main thing that you're looking for, you don't have any lumps. You've cooked out that rice flour. It's better to use a rice flour, less starchy, less that raw flour sort of flavour. So it is actually friendly for celiacs, people that can't have gluten or they have a gluten intolerance. And then we're just going to let that cool down.
So I say the texture is more like a texture of craft glue, like a glue texture. So if you have any questions, viewers, please shoot us some questions and comments. We'll be very happy to answer.
Yep.
So I'll just give you...
Thank you.
That was very quick, wasn't it?
It's pretty fast. Yeah, you could have a little bit thinner, a little bit thicker. It depends. The main thing we're going to be doing with this roux, it will get thicker as it cools down. This is actually going to help bind all our ingredients later, and it's going to help everything stick to the cabbage. It's sort of like an emulsifying agent,
right?
You could say.
Yeah, it is glue then, and it also plumps up the rice paste. It's called pul in Korean.
Oh, pul. Okay.
It means literal meaning is glue. So it like a glue, it plumps up the chili with all the rest of the ingredients.
Okay.
So should we let this
Yes.
go?
And does this help the fermentation of our kimchis?
A lot of people say yes, it
Yeah.
does. Makes it more effervescent, more like lemonade sherbety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fizziness.
But not all kimchis. Would you make this for all kimchis?
No. You don't have to make this.
Okay.
But the juice is thicker.
Okay.
So the kimchi juice
Yes.
is a little bit thicker and sweeter because the starch. That's the sugar. So
could you use like a rice flour or a corn flour?
Corn flour, maybe not. I would use rice flour only. Or if you don't have any rice flour at home, sometimes I put cold rice, cooked rice in a blender.
Oh, that's good.
And add it.
Okay, good tip.
Yeah,
okay. Very good tip. I'll just move this.
Yes, so we'll slice this pechu, napa cabbage, and and David could
I'll break it down.
Would you like to show the viewers how to slice cabbage, please?
Okay, yep, so we've got napa cabbage today, also known as kimchi cabbage now. So it is called now kimchi cabbage, which is very cool.
I didn't know
No,
that.
so this is now called, I think in the States, it's now called kimchi cabbage because it's just become so popular and so famous. So with my cutting, I might just cut half today. So I've just gone about 25%, 30, and what we want to do...
Hear that, everyone?
Just tear that.
Yeah, I love that sound.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So I might just put this one over here.
So we're making just half kimchi cabbage.
Yeah. So what we're doing, we're just not breaking up those leaves too much. Ideally, like a really good quality cabbage, it's nice and white and pale inside. Yes. All the leaves have a nice consistent thickness, as we can see. So I'll just cut this up.
Yeah. Before you've cut, can I just taste the...
Of course, yes. Check the quality.
I like to check the quality and see how sweet it is.
It's good. Good, tasty.
Nice and crunchy. And the white and the yellow bit in the middle, that's the inner leaf, doesn't get a lot of sun.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's nice and sweet.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And of course, we would always wash our cabbage, of course, before we start salting.
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
Before I just shake off excess dirt.
Okay, yeah.
This is what my grandmother told me.
Okay, okay.
And then once we salt it, when we get rid of the salt, then I wash it.
Okay, okay, that's good. Okay, excellent.
But everyone does it differently.
Yeah. Now the core, because that's going to take the longest to break down, I actually like to add this to the kimchi, and then it's probably going to be the last piece you want to eat or cook with. What about you?
Great tip. I usually throw it away, but
throw it
now
away?
I'm not going to waste not.
Yes,
right?
no food wastage,
Yes.
no wastage. Because it's going to take a really long time to break down. So usually I like to leave this in the fermentation and then I slice it and chop it. Great for kimchi fried rice, kimchi stews, maybe like your kimchi jang, your kimchi pancake. That's sort of my sort of tip. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Size-wise, let's have a look. So I'll probably just cut these in half.
Yeah, so David purposely left the inner leaves aside.
Yeah. And what do we want? We probably want a squares, I guess about that size. Try and keep everything as consistent as possible.
Yeah, try to make the size uniform. That's probably the size that we like.
Any other cabbages we could use if we're not using like a kimchi Napa cabbage? Have you ever tried making?
Of course, like a popular style of kimchi is just normal cabbage, not kimchi cabbage.
Ah, okay.
You can't store that for very long.
Yes, yeah.
But you can use any vegetable. You can use different types of cabbage. One of my favorite kimchi actually is pumpkin kimchi.
Oh.
So you ferment pickle and ferment pumpkin.
Well, I know Koreans like to use the pumpkin leaf.
Yes.
As like a sam for like a wrap or like steamed in soy.
Yes.
I've tasted before, it's lovely. Should we do more or should we just keep as a quarter? What do you reckon? A little bit more?
A little bit more.
We'll do a little bit more, yeah. I'm just being lazy. I'm being lazy, sorry. Yes, a lot of people want to eat this, so that's a good point. Okay, so I'll probably just cut that one.
Good cabbage, this one. Lots
it's beautiful.
I like the sweet, the yellow, white, pale leaf. It's sweeter. But a lot of kimchi, lovers like the green leaf. The bitter taste of the green leaf. It's got more chlorophyll from the sun. It's the outer leaf. So, but you need both in kimchi.
I guess you could use Savoy cabbage if you've ever used the French, the classic French cabbage. I'm just trying to think.
If you like that, please you make it with Savoy. Or if you can't get your hands on kimchi cabbage or Napa cabbage or pechu, please use whatever you like. But today we're going to make mud kimchi, which uses pechu.
I think heavier the cabbage, the better. Usually better the quality, a little bit fresher.
Yeah, more leaf in it.
Yep.
And please check for the thickness. Sometimes, I like in winter, it's thinner. The leaves are thinner, and that tends to make better kimchi.
Yes. What do we have here at the front?
Yes, we have lots of different ingredients for kimchi making. The first one being salt. So this is the sea salt that we use for salting. And then we have this another star of the show, which is chili powder, Korean chili powder.
Yes, yes.
So you've used this before a lot.
The gochugaru is good. Yeah, I feel like you really need this one to make a good Korean kimchi.
But if you don't have access to gochugaru, what's an alternative, David?
Chili powder. I guess maybe even a little bit of cayenne pepper.
Yes.
If you want a little bit out there. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So hi Nicole. Nicole's asked, do we have to add anchovies to make kimchi?
Well, Nicole, I can answer that one.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Because I've spent some time at a vegan Buddhist temple, and they have one of the best kimchi you can ever taste.
Yes.
They don't use any animal product like fish sauce.
Yep.
Actually, they don't even put garlic and all of those aromatics as well.
Bad for the soul or the body, is that right?
Yeah.
The balance.
But you can make great kimchi without using fish sauce.
Okay,
but
okay.
you know, use other umami flavors like mushrooms, something like that, just for more flavor.
Okay, okay, yeah. And would you have to ferment it longer? Because there's no fish sauce, anchovies, and none of that more salty enzymes.
Great question.
Yep.
You don't have to ferment it longer,
Okay.
but it won't keep as much. Funnily
okay.
enough, you need the fish sauce, the protein, to keep it fresher longer.
Yes.
But with vegan kimchi, it's so tasty that you go through it very quickly.
Yeah, and they've got the experience as well. But I have seen some shops and stores sell the vegan kimchi.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot more people in Sydney making and selling vegan kimchi, which is really great
Yeah.
to see. So yeah.
So Nicole, you won't probably like this one, but this is salted shrimp that goes into kimchi making.
Yes,
It's,
one of my favorite. Yeah,
yeah, it's great seasoning.
Say it.
Yeah. And then, what's this?
That smells like anchovy sauce. Yeah, just looking at the colour and that smell. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the anchovy sauce.
So it's
Yeah.
멸치액젓, fish sauce
Yes.
made from anchovies.
Yes.
And it's a lot more pungent than normal fish sauce, isn't it?
Yeah, it is much stronger. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And a little bit of sugar to balance out all the spice and the salt.
Okay.
Right. And also the spicy aromatics.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to make a paste with most of these. So we've got garlic, ginger, we've got some green shallots, we've also got some long red chilies.
Optional, isn't it?
Optional, I think they need it.
Yeah.
I love the flavour and the spice and nuttiness of the gochujang. I'm getting better with chili. As a white guy, it does take time, but I'm starting to love chili. But you could even add bird's eye chilies, scuds, if you want spicier.
Right.
Or you can just take the seeds out.
Sure.
Most of the spice is in the seeds.
A lot
Yeah.
of Korean chili. Korean chili is not that spicy usually because it's ground from these long red chili, which is not as spicy as your
No, they're good. I just think people see the red colour and they're like, that's going to be really, really spicy.
Yeah,
But kimchi can vary from regionals in Korea, can't it?
that's right. I mean, I can taste any kimchi, David, and
Yeah.
know exactly what region they're from.
Yeah, I'm not that level yet. I'll try. I got to eat more kimchi. So yeah, that's very cool. Okay.
So should we salt this?
Let's salt. Yeah.
We've given you the recipe, but the rule of thumb is just salt the cabbage. It's like the saltiness is like seawater salty. So would you like
Yes.
to be honest?
And can we use any other different salts?
Of course you can.
You can, yeah. Like a rock salt, or would
Yes,
you
if you can just break it down into
would you recommend a table salt?
Not so much, but if you don't have access to these coarse salt, then please use whatever salt you have at home.
I think Korea produces probably the top 3 salt in the world.
I think so.
So
right?
it is better to use Korean sea salt, especially you're going to get, if you go to a Korean supermarket, you're going to see a lot of different prices and styles. As you can see, it's got a much nicer moisture content.
Yes.
It's not as highly iodized as like your table salts, but I think Korea makes some of the best sea salt. That's for me. When I make my kimchi,
Yeah.
I like to use as many Korean ingredients as possible. So we sort of want a sea salt, I guess, sea salted
Yes.
water flavor. I'm just going to mix everything.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to mix it, I can maybe get onto the radish and the shallot.
Yeah, sure.
Did you want to add some water
Yes,
to
I'll add
this?
some water.
You'll add
to
some
it,
water?
Just speed up the process.
Yep,
and if you're in a hurry, while David's putting garlic and ginger and are we going to use a blender?
We'll use a blender.
Yeah.
We'll blend everything up.
All
Okay.
right.
Yep.
If you can explain to our viewers
Yes.
what you're doing, I'll just add some more salt just to speed this up.
Yep. So we're going to make a puree. So sort of like a paste that'll help break down and make our kimchi. I'm probably going to use 10 cloves of garlic. Look, I love garlic. You could use less. I'm not really sure if you could omit the garlic. I guess you can if you want to, but for me, I believe like it really needs the garlic.
Kimchi tastes still good without garlic, but it won't keep as long. So
Yeah. Ginger. I really love fresh ginger. I know Koreans are a bit prone to the ginger flavour in kimchi. It's only a little bit. They don't want too much overpowering sort of flavour.
Subtle. We want subtle ginger flavors.
Yes.
I'll put this aside.
Thank you, chef. I may just need to add a bit of water. So again with the chilies,
this together?
yeah, just to bind it together. So I guess if you want less spice, you could take the seeds out or maybe not use the chilies. I'm going to add a bit of that.
Yes, it's nice. It's a good tip to put the salted shrimp, 새우젓, in the blender as well, because some people might say, oh, there's a shape of a tiny little shrimp in there.
Yes,
so to prevent that.
Yeah.
Just you're adding a little bit of
Just
water.
a bit of water, help everything blends.
Yeah.
I actually prefer my kimchi more like a Busan style, so more close to the ocean down south, a lot more saltier. So usually I would use the anchovy fish sauce and the Korean sea lance fish sauce, and I would use the sayot as well. So I like mine quite fishy. Quite fishy.
Whereas
quite
I'm
pungent.
from Seoul, and Seoul kimchi is not as spicy, not as pungent, not as fishy.
So make sure I don't cover you in a fish sauce.
Might move out of the way.
I guess the good thing about kimchi, if everyone's eating kimchi, you don't need to worry about your breath or the smell.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
If everyone smells the same, it's all right.
It does smell, but all good things, all good food, I think, a lot of good food does smell. Think about blue cheese and
Okay.
So we've got a bit of a spice, ground out spice.
So what I might do, just to get it a little bit fine, you can see it's quite coarse. I'm going to add some of this roux. Instead of adding water, because by adding water, you're actually probably diluting the flavour too much.
Definitely.
So I might add some of that. Did you want to talk about the radish that we're using today? Is it a particular or special radish?
This is a good point, David.
Thank you.
This is called wool. It's Korean radish. And with quick kimchi, you don't have to put more in. It really depends. So, but I thought I'd bring it today just to show you. You can add a little bit of this into cabbage to make quick kimchi. So we'll just leave this as is. Yeah, I think there's another question coming our way.
Hi, Adrian. So Adrian has asked, is the rice paste optional? Which is a really good question.
Yes, definitely optional. I think half the time I add rice paste, half the time I don't. It really depends on how I feel like. So you really don't have to put it in. It's just to plump up all the other ingredients.
Because the hard thing I find with making kimchi is how do you know you've got enough paste?
Sure.
What if you run out? What if you don't have enough? And I think adding that rice can give you a little bit more bulk.
Exactly. And another tip is, if you have just a microwave, you can add some rice flour with a bit of water and just, cook it in the microwave, cool it down and put it in.
Yeah, great.
So, yeah.
So
That's a great question, Adrian.
It's very good. That's the paste. I don't mind it a little bit coarse, a little bit chunky. You could blitz it smoother, but I want a bit of texture in there as well. So I might just keep that to the front.
I mean, because we don't have an hour, we've already washed our salted cabbage 3 times. It's just my grandmother always told me just wash it 3 times and then drain properly. So as you can see, there's no water here anymore because we've washed this 3 times, David.
Yep.
And drain. And David, you're just slicing up the green.
Just slicing shallots, Maybe I'll do 2 or 3, depending on how much we're making. Yep.
And if you can just see, I hope you can see how floppy this is. It's nice and it's salted. It's pickled. This is a pickle, right? Salt pickle.
Yeah.
And it got rid of the salt, got rid of all the bad bacteria. I'm gonna eat it again. I'm eating so much. Right, and it's salty and it's tasty. So this is a pickle.
Has to taste salty, doesn't it? It really has to taste salty. It has to be salty. If it's not, you're just going to have a really plain kimchi. Yeah.
So that's a good tip, David. So I think we've got another question coming our way.
Cool. Hi, Michelle. So Michelle asks, do we use the white or green part of the radish? I heard that one part is sweeter and the other is bitter.
If I were doing a culinary exam, most Koreans say the white part, you put it into kimchi making. That's the white part. But I, like you, I have this waste not philosophy. So if you're making kimchi at home, just use the green part. It's a radish. So Michelle's asked the radish. Sorry, I thought it was the green onions. Okay, so when you white or green part of the radish. Okay, so with the radish, this is how it is planted. on the ground. The green part is actually, sorry, this way. The white part is underneath the soil. That's why it's white. There's a root here that they took off, and this bit a little bit above the ground. So the sun hits this, and that's the chlorophyll. This is sweeter in my opinion, but this is a little bit more bitter. But this part is more crunchier. So my advice is use everything.
Yeah.
So,
especially if you're making like a radish kimchi, or if you're doing pickling,
yes.
It's great to use the whole thing.
Yeah, and you can make like salad and things like
Yeah,
that, which is
it's similar. I guess when we were talking about shallot, like the white part is a bit sweeter.
Yeah.
I like the white part more as a garnish, or as something I'm going to add at the end. Green, I prefer more like a stir fry, maybe like a some wrap. It just depends. But usually a lot of places like to use the green for a garnish as well. But for something like kimchi, you can omit this. You could even add like garlic chives. I like to add garlic chives, and I like to add a lot of onion.
Yeah.
I like it oniony as well. You could even add a white onion to the puree,
Yes.
which I like to do.
Yes.
Even pear. You could add pear if you want a bit
Of
sweeter.
course, pear, apple, to make it sweeter, use all the seasonal ingredients.
Yeah.
So, should we start making
Yes.
kimchi?
Can I add the shallot to here, or just keep the shallot to the side?
This is another grandmother thing. She always said to put the shallots right at the end, because
Okay.
if you mix the shallots too much, the sticky thing inside the shallot, when it gets mixed, it's not pleasant.
Okay,
It gets
okay.
too stringy.
Okay, great.
So I love doing this. You
Yes.
need a ton of chili, right, David?
Yes,
Maybe
you do.
we'll save the radish for next time. I think
Okay.
we'll just do a simple, quick kimchi.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
really love radish. I just had to, I'll put it back.
Yes,
I just
yeah.
get, okay,
Just
so
wanted to.
gloves,
Yes,
very
please.
important.
So we're going to taste David's sonmat
Yes,
using.
so I don't stain my beautiful soft hands.
We
Okay,
need a ton of chili.
Okay.
So you tell me when, David.
okay, go, yeah.
So I usually pour, well, I'm sure you do as well, the chili powder first, right? So like a little ton of chili. Just love this. Such a satisfying. But if you don't do spice, if you can't do spice, just add less.
Add less.
Right? Or you don't have to.
But it's really going to add the colour. And you can see how beautifully coarse. It's very different to like a chili powder. That's why for me, if I'm cooking authentic Korean cuisine food, you really have to use Korean ingredients if you can, like the Korean anchovy, the sonmat, the gochujang. For me, we can talk more about substitutes, but yeah, that's for me.
And I like to put the rice paste
Okay,
with
yeah.
the chili to plump up the chili powder. What do you think, David?
I reckon we can go,
Yeah.
yeah, go some more. Yeah.
Some more?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And then you mix the two together. And see the color, because the sense, sonmat is looking at the color, and you try to remember the color.
Do you like to squeeze the cabbage after
No.
you've washed it? Because I know some are they don't like to squeeze the cabbage.
No, it just drains
and
very
some
well.
do. We
I
don't.
don't even put through a salad spin.
Okay, yeah. Because the main idea with the salting is we're drawing out that bitterness, the saltiness, and we're still keeping all the minerals and vitamins in the cabbage, but it's making it softer so it can absorb all
And
that.
you're
The chili.
trying to pay a lot of respect to your ingredients. So when you're making kimchi, you don't want to bruise the cabbage too much, and hence you're not squeezing
Yeah,
out.
don't be too rough. Yeah, I sometimes have to remember soft hands.
Yeah, do you think that's a good color, David?
I think that's good because we're going to add. Do you want me to bring this one over?
Sure. So I think we can add all of this in there,
I think
or
so.
yeah,
I think
all
so.
of it.
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll go spicy today.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
go spicy. We'll go pungent.
So mostly Korean, so we'll
Yes,
we'll go spicy today.
I wish you can, viewers can smell the aroma in this room. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Just coming into winter, it's a good winter
Yes.
food as well. Helps build that immune system.
Yeah.
Raw onion, raw garlic. Chili's great for the immune system.
Yeah, that's it. I think we're time to add the green onions now.
I think so. It looks good.
You can just see just this beautiful, say, the cauldron of all these beautiful ingredients.
Yeah. No, I like onion.
Lots of
course,
green
I
onions.
like
Yeah,
the
it's called
onion.
pa.
Yeah.
So
Just be gentle.
a lot of you don't have to put the green onions, pa. I think a lot of the kimchi factories, the store-bought kimchi, don't put pa in it. So it's really up to you. And last but not least, because it's spicy, it's salty, so just to even out and balance out the flavors, instead of using artificial enhancers, I like to use a bit of sugar.
Yep.
And if you've got dietary requirements, you can't put sugar, you can use other sweeteners, stevia or...
Okay, yeah, great. Yep.
So that looks fantastic. Is it time to taste, David?
I think so. It looks like it is ready to taste.
I've got these ajima gloves, Korean gloves here. I love Korean gloves. It's sort of like very snug fitting, so you don't get any water or stuff going into your elbow.
Yeah. Did you want to have a try?
Love to try. This is really pungent, it's salty. Freshly made kimchi has to be pungent, has to be salty, it has to be spicy when you first make it, right?
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Pretty good?
I think enough spice. You may want more chili.
No, I think it's spicy.
Spice it up? Yeah. I think that's my wife's style. She always asks.
And we've got another question.
Apple kimchi. Okay. So hi, Celestine. Yeah. She asked, can we use apple to make kimchi? I can't see why not.
I mean, I actually had that before, but it's nice, but you can't keep it for very long.
Yeah.
So,
probably because of the moisture content. I think also the fibre is different to cabbage. That's why cabbage works so well. Things like apple, pear. I've tried to make a fennel kimchi, but the fennel is it's a lot different. It's a lot stronger. It's quite strong. I think that's in just experiment.
Yes, I think more Celestine, to use apples, I think it's better maybe make a kimchi apple salad. So using those kimchi seasoning to make an apple salad, I think.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I think it's a great question though. Yeah,
great question. So
are we using this kilner jar specifically? Is this good to use for kimchi, this sort of jar?
Look, I always think glassware, Tupperware, but good quality Tupperware is good.
Yes, yeah.
Can you tell our viewers how to ferment kimchi, David?
Yeah, I think the glass works well. Not only it's not going to stain a container, you're also probably not going to get any flavour from that container that might leak out. Okay.
But Tupperware is a very good vessel for.
Okay. Hi, Juz. So
that's a good question.
Yes, Juz has asked, is it best to store kimchi in glass or plastic? Look, for me, you can get a lot of airproof glass containers now, which are great. I like to use those at home, or I like to use stainless steel containers that have a lid or glass.
Right.
Yeah.
The Korean Kimchi Institute, or one of the scientists sort of companies in Korea, they did a research on what's the best vessel for kimchi making. And one of the research was, can you believe this? Good quality Tupperware over glassware, over clay pot. But that's one research. But you have to get very, very good quality thick Tupperware. That's not going to react with any of these, strong ingredients. Yeah. So maybe a little
probably
bit.
Probably a touch. I'm getting excited.
I'm just looking at it. Got a bit excited. I think you have to be middle-aged.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to think. We don't want the jar to explode when we open it.
Because there'll be lactic acid produced when you make when it ferments. And you have to leave a little bit of gap. So just fill it about 85% or just a little bit of gap so that the gas doesn't explode. Otherwise, you'll have a pool of kimchi juice in your kitchen bench.
Which I've been there before. So.
And you're not going to be very popular with your other family.
No. Most of my clothing has a kimchi stains on there. So. Okay, so I like to actually leave it at room temperature for 8 hours. Do you like to do less or do you like to do more, or depends on the kimchi? Depends
on the kimchi. Quick kimchi like this, I'll probably leave at room temperature on a kitchen bench for about 2 days.
2 days? Yes. Okay, great.
And then open it up. It depends on the weather as well. If it's hot, then less. If it's cold, it takes longer to ferment. Okay. And then put it in the fridge. And where it will continue to ferment, but at a slower rate.
Okay, yeah. And usually fridge, I think Korean has the design kimchi fridges. I think they're one 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But I think for most people 4 is 5. Most fridges 4 or 5 is fine.
Temperature Celsius. Celsius. There's another question.
Hi, is there any expiry date? Look, the oldest kimchi I've eaten is 1 year. Now, I've not seen them get any older, but I'm sure they're out there.
In my kimchi fridge, I have kimchi made 3 years ago. You can't eat that as a salad or as a side dish, but you cook with that, and there's so much lactic acid, which is good for your gut health. So don't get rid of kimchi, any part of your kimchi.
No.
You just eat it as in a soup or fried rice or whatever.
Yeah.
But usually, a quick kimchi, you can't keep this for years. We're talking about months. Maybe this would last about 6 months.
And usually you want to start cooking with it a month or a little bit older? Like for fried rice, for stews?
Once it starts getting really too sour, then I'll cook with that.
Okay, because usually if you know your kimchi is doing really well or your recipe's down pat, usually what you'll get is all that liquid will break down and you'll have a nice film of liquid over the kimchi. That's what you're looking for. Like, because you want when you're storing and keeping kimchi, you want to have that nice clear liquid because that's going to keep out all the bad airborne bacteria, because we're doing lactic fermentation. Same as yogurt, same as cheeses. So I've got a lot of really healthy enzymes.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the healthiest food in the world, isn't it?
And nothing's
Super
really
pickled.
nothing's cooked besides the roux, but you don't have to add that. So it's raw food, really. Okay.
All right. And what else are we cooking today, David?
We're going to make kimchi mayonnaise. So maybe what we'll do is we'll swap places.
Okay.
Maybe we'll tidy up a little bit. Maybe I'll move our kimchi over here, and maybe I'll go through a little bit. We'll keep some chopsticks for tasting, of course.
And please let me know what I can do to help.
Of course. Okay, so I've got some of my mise en place and ingredients here for our kimchi mayo and also for our Caesar salads. Yeah, sorry. Get a little bit close, okay? Okay, so what I've got some Korean mayonnaise, the pre-made stuff you can buy in the store, which is great. Parmesan cheese. I've got, this one's called myeolchi bokkeum. So this one is actually Korean dried anchovies that have been fried, bit of sugar, bit of soy, bit of sesame oil. I've got some lemon juice for seasoning, some shallot, some really nutty, great brown rice vinegar.
One of my favorite vinegars.
Yep, I've got some kimchi. And I've also got some boiled eggs for our Caesar. I've got some pancetta that I've just roasted in the oven for about 15 minutes at 180.
Nice and crunchy.
Nice and crispy. And instead of like your classic croutons or bread, I've actually got some puffed rice wheat crackers that they usually do on the street.
Yes.
Food, a little bit sweet, nice texture, just a little bit different.
Version of potato chips, right?
Yeah, a little bit different element. So what I get you to do, chef, could you actually puree this cabbage kimchi for me?
Of course.
Okay? So it depends. If you want a really strong kimchi mayo, you could do maybe 2 parts mayonnaise, 1 part kimchi. You could do 1 to 1. 1 to 1 is probably going to be really strong. I don't think it's necessary to wash the container because it's already got that kimchi flavour in there.
I might just put that on there because I don't want kimchi juice all over. Right.
How's that
there's
going?
too much kimchi here, I think.
Maybe what we'll do, maybe I'll add a little bit of water, or we could add a little bit of fish sauce as well. Maybe we'll add a bit of fish sauce, but not too much. Don't want to make it too.
Right.
Okay. How's that going?
Yeah, too much.
There we go.
Yeah.
So for my cos, I like to use the baby gems or the inner part of the cos because it's a little bit sweeter, a nicer flavour, nicer texture. How's that kimchi coming along?
Yeah, it's going fine, thank you. Might just take some out.
Yes.
Keep going, David, and I'll...
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, because I'm going to add my mayonnaise just to the bowl. I'll probably add that. Just going to mix that around. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice. You don't have to, you could add lime juice or lemon, just as a little bit of acidity, just for a little bit of seasoning.
Right.
Also got some shallots for a little bit of spice and flavour. Probably going to add a little bit of that brown rice vinegar, just to get a little balance and flavour in that mayonnaise.
Right.
And what I'll probably add, if that kimchi's pureed up nicely.
I think this blender, this is yours, right?
Yes,
I think
yeah.
it knows its owner.
It knows its owner well?
Yes,
Okay.
I think the owner
Maybe I
should-
have to speak to it. Okay, let's have a look.
It's getting temperamental with me, so.
I guess it's probably just a little bit tired and worn out from all the pureeing today.
Right.
So what we'll do, we'll leave that, because I don't think that's okay,
Right.
that sort of
So chopped
texture.
enough?
What we can do, always got to improvise as a chef, okay?
Yes.
Say something's broken, or something's not working. Chefs are always good with our knives. So I want quite a really strong kimchi flavour. Yeah.
So this is a good tip. If you don't have a blender at home, you can chop this kimchi, like what David's doing. And I like when I make kimchi mayonnaise, I like to chop as well, David, because I like the crunchy.
More texture?
texture.
Yeah.
I like the texture of kimchi. I like texture in a lot of my food. So liking this, so liking the look of this mayo.
Yeah. So I'll chop that up.
Beautiful, actually.
Also better to use an older kimchi.
Yes.
So I'm going to add.
So well fermented kimchi. That's sort of sitting at the back of your fridge for a while.
Usually something it's a little bit darker. That's usually how I tell if the kimchi is a little bit older, is looking at the colour. So if it's a lot darker colour, I'm going to add a little bit more mayonnaise. Put it over here. If it's a little bit darker, it's probably going to be a little bit older flavour. Okay?
I'll just swap places
yeah, of course,
with
yeah.
you so that you have a... If you like to just
Yes.
tilt, it's looking fabulous. That's the kimchi mayo. A whole full of kimchi mayo. Maybe I could just eat this all night.
Yeah, you could. Have you got some fried chicken or any fried food? Perfect. Beautiful.
Sure.
So the taste of that flavour is great.
Maybe you can tilt, David, just to...
So nice mixture. If you want at home, you could blitz the mayonnaise and the kimchi together. It's no problem at all. Okay, so I've got some of that cheese.
This is Parmesan.
Yeah, Parmesan cheese. You can admit that if you want. Depends how much you love anchovies. I really love anchovies, but classically, Caesar salad will have those canned anchovies.
And you can make it vegetarian, just omit the anchovies.
You could, yeah. You could also do like an egg-free mayonnaise. You can buy some of those. Maybe I'll just break up some of that prosciutto.
Prosciutto, ham. I'll just hold it for you. So
Yeah,
it's
thank you.
easier. So
Great,
that
very
everyone
nice.
Can see this beautiful dish you're making.
Now I'm not going to put too much of these in because these will start to absorb. So put those in. I guess, yeah, if you can't find prosciutto, most supermarkets sell it.
Sure.
You could just maybe fry some bacon, or you can even just admit.
Just so knit it
is
all
fine.
together.
Yeah, knit it all together. Okay, so what I'm going to do,
Maybe you can tilt the bowl, David.
give that a bit of a mix. Like this. Now usually with cos, you don't want to use a knife. You want to be quite gentle when you break it up because we don't want to bruise these leaves too much, okay?
That's like with general tip with a lot of the salads too,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. So these are being washed and I made sure they're nice and dry. So
Can you do it with any other lettuce? I know cos is the Caesar salad lettuce, but any
yeah,
other lettuce work?
iceberg. Iceberg might work
Yeah,
all right. It's just cos has a lot of really nice texture in there. I think that is going to be enough. So usually, classically, Caesar salad, they would actually make the dressing in the bowl and then they would always toss the leaves through. Might do a little bit more. I really love those inner leaves. Same as the cabbage, like more the inner leaves. But the idea with a Caesar salad is you want to make sure all those leaves
Well dressed.
are coated with the mayonnaise.
This aroma in this room is just amazing.
So we're just showing you an idea how versatile you can be with kimchi. A lot of restaurants, I see kimchi mayonnaise, I see a lot of chefs now making kimchi in the restaurants. What else am I seeing? You're seeing kimchi in the supermarkets, like not just your Korean Asian supermarkets, but also a lot of your big franchise supermarkets. There's just a lot of demand for it at the moment.
Yes.
So I'm going to put that there.
I think general rule of thumb. There's another question from Adrian. Great knife work with kimchi, David.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Adrian. I'm trying. I always improve. Thank you. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to break up, give this a little bit of texture.
Once again, you can omit that if you're vegetarian.
Yeah.
And use vegan kimchi.
Yeah, maybe some
I've
mushrooms.
got my chopstick ready. Can't
Now,
wait to taste this dish.
I want to keep the eggs. I don't want to smash the eggs through. But usually, yeah, you're going to make a mayonnaise from scratch, like in a restaurant, but the pre-bought stuff is fine. It's also a nice little introduction to kimchi as well. I'm going to add, I'm going to break up some of these. Go quite rustic.
Show you some.
Now these crackers, yeah, you can find in Korean supermarkets. They usually come in a massive long bag. Might add some shallots. So I can't have never have too much onion.
I think you're almost Korean.
Nearly.
Really?
Nearly.
You're more Korean.
I have to apply for my dual citizenship soon. Then pretty much that's it.
That looks wonderful.
Whether you do something like individual serves
beautiful.
or
What
you
a
do,
good-looking dish.
for me, get some tongs, get a big serve. If you're doing some barbecue, I like to roast or steam some pork belly when I make my kimchi and then roll
Yes.
that up. But it's just a really nice salad, especially, we're out of spring and summer, but look, I just think it works really well. I had to have a think about how can I incorporate kimchi in a different way, in a different style.
Yeah, can I?
Of course, please, chef, please have the first
wait.
try.
I want to get these into these lettuce first with beautiful dressing. Here, looks so beautiful.
Maybe I'll have a taste as well. Try one of these.
Yum.
Taste Korean?
So beautiful. So beautiful. It's the integrity of the Caesar salad is here, but with a nice background heat of kimchi.
I think kimchi works
So
well.
wonderful. So wonderful.
If you wanted stronger kimchi flavour, you could add some chopped kimchi over the top or spread it up. I'm going to keep eating this, but I got to control myself. I'll give this for the staff and the crew to try, of
I
course.
think there's David.
Yes. Okay. So David's asked few other recommendations that go well. Kimchi mayonnaise. I think anything fried, Korean fried chicken. What else can I think of? Pretty much, yeah, really anything. Like chips, like sweet potato chips. I think especially fried. Maybe some salads. You could do some salads with it.
Yeah, or sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
Anything that requires sauce or mayonnaise, I think would go really well together.
I think, yeah, you could even use, if you've got a lot of that liquid, you could even pour some of that into a mayonnaise. Just no wastage.
Yeah, but David, this kimchi is so good. I really want to take this home.
I think go for it.
Might not want to share it with
No,
you.
I wouldn't share. I wouldn't share. Yeah.
No, it's such a an older generation thing.
Okay.
Yes, my gift to you.
감사합니다. Thank you. 감사합니다.
I'll
네.
console myself.
Yep.
Just eating this radish kimchi, 종각 kimchi, 종각무, bachelor kimchi.
Is that your favorite kimchi?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your
And
favorite?
I'll do a typical Korean way, using my hands, and
The texture, the sound. And they're so unique, the radishes, to Korean cuisine, because they are similar to daikon, but they are very different in their own style, in their own season. And these radishes are just perfect for kimchi. They still keep all that texture.
I need a bowl of rice.
Yes, we need some rice or some tofu.
And my Jeong kimchi.
Have a barbecue. We've got cos lettuce here. We can do some psalms. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds very good. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Should we talk about the winners?
Yeah, so we've actually announced our winners. So congratulations. If you just check the comments section and you will see hopefully your name there. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and attending. Yeah.
Well, it was been a pleasure cooking with you.
Thank you for having me.
감사합니다.
Yeah, thank you.
Our viewers learned and had much fun as us.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Thank you. And good luck making kimchi. 감사합니다.
Happy kimchi.
Yeah, happy kimchi. Yeah.